Yeah! Hello! How is everyone doing? Yay! Look! Get my tablet. Well, first, like, I'm doing good. I, definitely made bad decisions and ate something that upset my stomach. So, you know, don't follow my example. Let's figure out what we're gonna draw first before getting into any videos. Wait, is Mew or Cake what to call you? Cake is kind of what I prefer. So that's actually like a funny story. So I got the name. Originally, the name I went by online was Mew Cake because, as you can probably guess, I was a big fan of Tokyo Mew Mew. And I was in a community where basically everyone was called Mew something, you know? And everyone in that community just called me Cake because everyone else, if you said Mew, then you could be referring to literally anyone. But once I'm out of that community, everyone's like, oh yeah, Mew. Because my name was still like Mew Cake. And I'm like, alright, how about this? Switch it up, Cake of the Mews. And it's funny how people are just very determined to call me Mew. Like, I don't know, I could put it in any order and people say Mew. I'm not mad about it, but like, it's funny to me. Anyway, yeah. Hello. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out what to draw. Did I ever give... let's see. What do I draw? I feel like I had some things I was working on and then I forgot. How about Luluka X Kure art? Oh! You know, I haven't drawn Star Detective at all. Oh no, but like I gotta feel it, you know? That's the problem. Like I can't do anything unless I'm like, I feel it in my soul. I did have Twist in Wonderland stuff, but let's see, wait, where is my, okay, egg thing? Aria from ZZZ. I do not know Zenless Zone Zero in the slightest. I mean, you know, how about I just continue working on this? This fun little, yeah. Star Detective finally locking it. No, dude, legit, also kind of made me laugh because 2 years ago when I was introducing my friends to your video, I called you Mew. Oh my gosh. Wait. I have to like recover from the idea of somebody like showing my videos to somebody else. Oh, that's so cool and sweet. Wah. Anyway, so this is apparently, have you ever heard about the Lost Mew Mew Power promos? Promos? Lost Mew Mew Powers? There's better ways to go about this than destroying your crush's Makoto jewel. Dude, I don't know what's going on in Star Detective, but they did lock in. It's a little like, what is happening here, but I'm kind of excited about it. Lost Mew Mew Power promos. What do you mean lost? Because I'm sure, if anything, dude, Hiko Yagami, he probably finds, like, everything. Okay, wait. Lost Mew Mew Power promos. Yeah, it's that one Genshin video. Oh my god. Oh, Mew Mew Power. It's 3 of the Who's the New Mew Mew. Oh, yeah, I watched Magical Doremi as a kid. I loved it. Oh, Who's the New Mew Mew? Oh. Wait, Muse of the World? Wait. What do you mean it was lost? I remember this. I remember seeing it as like, I think, was it as a kid? Wait, I can't pop it out. Dang it.
Meet the Mew Mews. The fight for planet Earth rages on. Even society's rich and
What? Ding ding.
At the White Rabbit
Whoa!
2003 donated $50 through Super Chat. I hope to be a talented artist like you one day.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Well, and that is incredibly kind. And I can tell you that, like, art is something that it is not a skill you were, well, it is a skill. It's not a talent you're born with. It is a skill that you develop over time. And just, oh, thank you, White Rabbit. That's so sweet. Yay. Oh, sorry, I was looking at Mew Mew Power stuff. So,
This video contains very heavy spoilers.
Stop talking. So, this video has been making the rounds. I have not seen it. I have not seen it at all. I have not heard anything from it. I've seen a couple of people, like, in their own reactions to it. I don't know Jack. You don't think Luluka will be like this for the rest of the season, do you? I have no clue what Star Detective is doing. It's going off the rails, so frankly, anything is possible. But as somebody who has loved Genshin Impact since basically day one, I don't know. I will see what this video entails, because it could be really good, but it could also be really not. So let's... Also, don't harass this person. Oh my god, don't harass them. Oh, that poor woman. I imagine she's already gotten quite a lot of harassment from people who are literally stupid. So, let's go!
Before we begin, please be aware that this video contains very heavy...
Her outfit, her little Sona's character design is adorable, and I love it so much. Like, this is cute. I love her art.
spoilers for Genshin Impact up to version 6.4, also known as Luna 5, the current game version as of recording. So if you clicked on this video and haven't played up through these quests yet, and you are still interested in doing so, please watch this at your own risk. Also, I would like to say that while I play Genshin frequently, I'm certainly not a lore expert. It's also worth pointing out that Genshin lore only gets more confusing and convoluted as time goes on, so that might factor in as well.
That's incredibly
I might get stuff
true.
wrong. You can feel free to correct me about anything in the comments, but I will do my best.
So question,
Let me just start by saying that Genshin Impact is one of my favorite games. I know that there's a lot to be said.
How's the volume so far? I want to make sure that's good first. Let's see, wait. Huh. This is
About Genshin and that Genshin fans are kind of a meme. There's a lot of valid critiques to be thrown Genshin's way.
Yeah.
For example, like many gacha games, they use a very predatory business model, and
Yeah.
Hoyoverse makes millions of dollars off of FOMO and by fostering people's gambling addictions.
Yeah.
And I would argue Genshin is actually worse than a lot of other Hoyo games too, because it's not as generous. From my understanding, other games from this company have made up for a lot of Genshin's greed by giving away more free characters and by making it easier to obtain materials to level them up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Genshin refuses to adapt even after over 5 years of updates. The resin cap is still only at 200 with no resin overflow system, and the weapon and talent ascension materials are still only available for a few days each week, which is an outdated system that serves absolutely no purpose. But despite all of those flaws, Genshin kind of stole my heart in the beginning.
Same.
I had never played a game like this before, meaning a gacha game. I didn't know how the pity system worked. I did a 10 pull whenever I had fates.
Venti,
and I
my
didn't save
beloved
them at all because I
accidental
wasn't keeping
5-star.
up with any upcoming banners or anything.
Yeah.
And I would spend my Primo Gems equally on both Intertwined and Acquaint Fates because that seemed like the financially responsible thing to do.
Yeah.
I shudder to think about it even now. But when I first started back in October of 2020, during Klee's first ever banner, none of that mattered because
Aw,
Genshin was
Klee.
pretty magical early on.
It was.
Not only was it special because back then, you really didn't have to worry about power creep. You could pretty much build any character you wanted if you liked them. But there was this feeling of newness that came with starting out in 1.0. This open world was laid out before you with two beautifully designed nations. The music was, and still is,
Oh, God,
so
the
gorgeous
music
and
is always
immersive.
good.
Playing with headphones and just listening to the soundtrack while running
Oh,
around
I know.
with your
By the
favorite
way, I know
characters
that
was
the
so
music
lovely.
she's playing right now is from
There were little
Dragon's
puzzles
Spine.
to solve and stories to tell, all backdropped by a beautiful landscape.
Any Dragon Spine like music that plays in any video, I'm like locked the fuck in. I'm like, I know that. Because I love Dragon Spine.
The story told by the Archon quests was relatively simple, but the characters were interesting and so lovable that they gave the quests life in their own way.
Yeah.
And then there were events like the first Lantern
Oh,
Rite
the
and
first-
the first Wind Bloom.
Oh.
Don't get me wrong, I think there have been some really good Lantern Rites in recent years.
The first
The one
Lantern
featuring
Rite
Gamin comes
is
to mind,
so...
but I really don't think that the sheer innocent joy that came with these events early on will ever be matched in the future.
Yeah.
And plus I think that Genshin has kind of forgotten about Wind Bloom. But
Yeah, that is kind of true. They have sort of dropped the ball on Windbloom. I remember when people saw it as a Zelda clone and nothing more. And here's the thing. I'm also guilty of that. I pitched it to people as like anime Breath of the Wild because that's how. Oh, ding ding ding. Oh, thank you for the jewels. I don't know what that means, but I like the little star. It's cute. But, like, I pitched it as anime Breath of the Wild, and I did not mean it as, like, oh, it's copying Breath of the Wild. I just meant that, like, I don't know. It was in that sort of vein of, like, that's how you move and traverse and interact with the world, but it has like very anime, like, well, I guess that just means like anime style. I don't know, man. Early Genshin was magical. And it's like, even going back and replaying the game, and the game feels like an entirely different game, it's so strange that it's like, it feels so different playing the early parts even now. And I think part of it is just because I was new to the entire experience. And now that I've experienced it, I can't go back and, like, capture that. But, seeing, I think her little hair bits are too long. Seeing Xiao in the Lantern Rite events slowly open up more and more year after year was truly magical. I'm not a big fan of how, like, Genshin does its limited time event things, but, oh god, there is a magic, there is a wonder in early Genshin.
But like, the cutscenes were so beautiful.
Yeah.
Getting to see what all of these characters in Liyue and Mondstadt were up to during these times of year.
Yeah.
I mean, that cutscene of all the characters
Yeah,
walking around
them!
Mondstadt together spawned so much shipping, and I was absolutely there for it, just like everybody else was.
Yeah.
Following this, we had Inazuma, Sumeru, and Fontaine. Again, all beautiful nations with so much potential for exploration.
Mm-hmm.
They encourage you to look in every nook and cranny. There's so much lore to be found that you might never see it all unless you peruse the Genshin Wiki. One of my favorite examples of all of the records and notes you can find are about Ildodore, and they're scattered throughout Sumeru.
Yeah.
Just discovering how immensely evil he was made me so excited to see what they would do with a villain like that in this story. And we will get to that. But even if the story occasionally got dull, and I know a lot of people struggled with Inazuma, believe me, I have problems with it too, I know I could always count on seeing a character I liked.
Yeah.
When Inazuma was boring me to death in the middle, or when it was busy underdeveloping Raiden A, I could at least maybe see Kazuha sometimes, who is still one of my favorite characters in the game to this day.
Kazuha is
A gacha
genuinely
game relies on its characters
one of
like
the
almost
greatest
no other type of
characters,
game
period.
does. If you want people to pull for them, they have to appeal. And most of them did.
Also, I wish that Beto had gotten more spotlight. Like, her in that little bit doing her default, like, attack animations in that big old fight scene. I'm just like, Beto! Like, I fell in love with the early game, but after my earlier distaste with Sumeru, Natlan's treatment just pissed me off. That is entirely valid. Oh my god. No, but I am the #1 Beto Glazer. I love her so much, and she needs to be in more things.
They had beautiful designs and interesting personalities that sealed the deal.
Nervalet.
So yes, Genshin is one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
But I'm also its biggest hater.
Oh,
And
girl,
know what
I
you're gonna
feel
say.
you.
You're just nostalgic. That's the only reason you think it was better back then. But I have proof. I mean, why else would I make a whole video essay on an unestablished YouTube channel if I didn't have proof?
I
So,
feel you, girl.
Was Genshin always this weird and bad?
Hit me up.
No.
Let's go.
It wasn't. And let me tell you why.
Yeah.
So,
It's gonna be
when we talk
Natlan.
about bad Genshin, we have to talk about the elephant in the room.
Natlan?
Natlan.
Yep.
In case you're unfamiliar, Genshin bases its nations on real-world cultures, in terms of visual inspiration, the names of the characters, and the nation's customs. Mondstadt is based largely on Germany, Liyue on China, Inazuma on Japan, and so on. Natlan, similarly to Sumeru, is based on multiple real-world cultures, including Mesoamerican societies, Polynesian cultures, and the cultures of African peoples. It's hard to pin down what they were thinking when they picked out all of these
I
places,
don't know.
each so different to represent just one nation in the game. I'm
I
certainly
don't
not the
know.
person to listen to on if this is bad representation, but I will say I do find it odd.
Yeah, pirate ladies are cool, but yeah, honestly, Genshin is very complicated in the scale of good and bad. It is. It is. Honestly, people are... so I'm only like 6 minutes in this video, but she has said nothing incorrect so far.
That the regions based on parts of the world where historically many black and brown people have lived are a mishmash of many different cultures.
That is true.
Many black and
That
brown
is
people
true.
have lived are a mix.
So I kind of, with, I love they showed the all African choir in the soundtrack, and nobody's black in the cast, yeah. No, the thing that the thing for Sumeru, the white person, so take that with a grain of salt, I rationalized the cultures that Sumeru mixed together, with, like, the spice trade and the trade routes and stuff, where, like, the like, Middle East and, and India and those kind of places, they were all kind of connected, and so they had a lot of similar ideas and, like, kind of importance on wisdom, but that is through a very cursory and extremely white point of view. I am not a historian, and I am not, like, specialized in any of that stuff. So, like, that was my justification for the, like, multitude of cultures in Sumeru. When we got to Natlan, though, I couldn't think of that kind of, like, connection. All I could think of was, oh, here's all the black people. And that sucks. That truly sucks. That Genshin just decided, let's take all the other non-white cultures and shove them together.
Smash of many different cultures, and that the characters are whitewashed versions of these people. It just gives me...
Wait.
The characters are whitewashed versions.
So this screenshot right here was Sucrose's original voice actor making a fuss about Auroron, an African, like, creator deity, being, like, a white dude. And they were 100% valid and correct for that. And I'm still... Dude, not to rag on the new Sucrose voice actor, but I don't like their voice for her. Because the original Sucrose voice had such an air of, like, this anxious excitement. Like, she kind of had, like, a very soft tone, but spoke really fast and had, like, this sense of, like... She's shy and she doesn't handle people well, but when she gets really excited about something, then she talks really fast and she could keep going on and on until she realizes, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to keep talking. Like, that was Sucrose. And now she just kind of sounds, okay, cool, I guess. Fine. Like, she sounds fine, but it's not the same character, you know? And that's what really sucks for me.
Of these people, it just gives me pause, to say the least.
Yeah!
For many other reasons, too. Natlan was understandably poorly received by fans, at least in the United States.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how other parts of the world reacted to it. It's easy to see.
I know that some Chinese fans were also like, hey, if these people are based on, like, African nations and like South America, why are they pale? Why did you do that? I know that there were some complaints from the Chinese audience.
Why though? Because it's the same reason.
Another thing that bothered a lot of people about Natlan was, so even though a lot of the characters in Sumeru, especially if they're from the rainforest region, then a lot of the Sumeru characters, despite having extremely non-white names and, you know, ethnically whatever, like, they were voiced. Their English voice casting was very specifically Swana. Like, wait, Southwest Africa. I have to wait. Southwest Africa. Southwest Asia, North Africa. That's what I mean. I got it mixed. But so for Sumeru, the English cast was very specifically full of people from the regions that Sumeru is based on. They weren't, like, obviously from there, but, like, they were of that descent. And that's something that a lot of people, like, appreciated and valued, because that showed, at least on the American side, there was an effort being made to properly portray these cultures and stuff. Obviously not all of the characters are like specifically voiced by people of the same ethnic group or whatever, but there was a notable effort to do that. And that's kind of Sumeru, while being a mixed bag, was kind of a magical period because all the voice actors are buddies, Sumeru crewmeru for life, and while there were discussions about the whitewashing of these cultures, it was still, for the most part, like, people were saying, wow, these characters are extremely Arabic. These characters are extremely this and that. Like, the research was done. Love when, yeah. Like, I'm light-skinned Mexican, but I was darker than some of the darkest characters in the game. They're ashy AF. Oh, dude, I feel you. Well, I mean, I don't, because I am not. I am extremely white. But I get it. Like, yeah, anyway, so I love the crew for Sumeru. Dude, the crew for Sumeru is amazing. I love them. Anyway.
Reasons that I didn't like Natlan. The landscapes are fine, but aesthetically, a lot of Natlan doesn't mesh well with existing aesthetics of the game.
It doesn't!
And one of the major problems people had was the characters' access to modern technology and concepts like motorcycles, flying guns, rollerblades, and DJ sets. I'm not even necessarily mad at the idea of having more modern tech in Natlan, but the problems lie more in the execution. First, Natlan made a point to set up an aesthetic style for Natlanese technology, like that within the ancient Sacred Mountain area, but then they only used it in that area. If Mauika's motorcycle or Shilonen's DJ set looked anything like this,
like
and
the
not
ancient
like
dragon's
modern
technology,
variations of those objects, maybe they wouldn't have felt so out of place.
That's
and
exactly
another problem
it.
with the tech is that
some people were saying like, oh, but the like, so these guys' stuff is bad, but the robots in Fontaine, and it's like, well, no, the robots in Fontaine are very specifically like a fantasy automaton. It is not modern technology. It is a clockwork, like, automaton. There is a difference. And the problem with Natlan was all of their, like, technology and stuff was so modern looking.
No one else in Natlan, other than the playable characters, use it at all.
Yeah.
You don't see any other Natlanese people rollerblading or driving vehicles. They probably wouldn't feel so out of place if other people in the 6 tribes had access to this stuff.
Why
There
are they in a
perhaps
club?
No location in Natlan that is so out of place as the Easy Breeze Holiday Resort.
Oh,
I did love
God.
the lore that this location provided for Bennett, but
yeah.
everything else about it is so
Why are they in a
ass, dude.
band?
It
No, you're
genuinely
so
feels
right. That threw me off so badly. Why are they in a band? Why could all the playable characters all of a sudden just like play instruments? I don't get it. Why did they do that?
It's like a different game to walk around this resort. There's a huge slide in the shape of a Caholosaurus, a dark ride a la Disneyland, a field that looks like a fucking Wii Sports golf course,
Oh my god,
and
you're
like
so right.
a music festival area with a dance-off stage. I cannot stress enough how immersion breaking it is to explore this area. Have there been silly summer-themed areas in the past?
Yeah.
Yes. But none of them have ever had an aesthetic on par with this one. I mean, the Golden Apple Archipelago just looks like it was taken straight out of Mondstadt or Liyue in terms of design, while still looking very fantastical, with impossible landscapes that could only be created by a mage of incredible power like Alice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the visual aspects aren't Natlan's only faults. I and many others also found the lore and quest of this region to be pretty lacking too. We'll start with the basics. Each nation in Teyvat has a divine ideal that is represented by the Archon.
Yeah.
So far, we've been introduced to 6 ideals of 7: freedom, contracts, eternity, wisdom, justice, and war. Most of these, at least to me, represent a good idea of what a divine ideal should be, something that a god is supposed to uphold in their nation. Sometimes upholding the ideal leads to conflict in the region. For example, in her upholding of eternity, Raiden Shogun sealed her borders and stole the ability to use elemental magic from her people, all for the sake of keeping Inazuma the same for all time. At the same time, Raiden herself represents the concept of eternity. She locks herself away to practice hundreds of years of meditation and uses undying puppets of herself to exact her will on the people of her nation.
Yeah.
It's honestly very upsetting the way that they rushed through her arc so much, because I think she would have made for such a compelling character otherwise.
Yeah.
Now think about Mawika in the same way with regards to her.
So, okay, so, oh, that's kind of a cool, like, pause. So, when going into Natlan, the whole, like, idea of war and stuff, I found it interesting how they turned war into, like a competition. Like, it's sort of like a sports tournament. And I didn't mind that, because they did stuff similar to that in how, like, in Fontaine, justice was kind of compared to theater, like the theater of a courtroom, or how in Sumeru, wisdom was often like kind of associated with dreams and imagination. Wisdom is not just like the solid, like, so the ideals are not as solid as like they may sound. So the idea of war being this like kind of sports tournament was kind of fun. And also showing off how, like, because the whole bit with Natlan is that they are trapped in, like, they were ravaged by the cataclysm 500 years ago, the most out of all the nations, and they still fight the abyss to this day. That's Natlan's whole thing. So them having like less technology makes sense, except it doesn't, because they have a lot of technology. And then like them having like kind of this tribalistic sort of thing makes sense, because like, but they're trying to have like a sense of unity between the tribes so that they can stand all as Natlanese, which makes the tribal aspect a little more confusing. I don't really know. Anyway, I should let her keep going.
Her divine ideal, which is war.
Yeah.
How does she represent war? Well, she's fighting a war.
Yeah.
Against the abyss, like everybody else in Tibet. Yeah, maybe they have it worse than other nations, but still, what happens when the war ends? Which it does at the end of the Archon quest.
Yeah.
It's not like Mawika is some battle-crazed maniac. At most, she's just kind of thoughtless and reckless in her actions. Do you see how war doesn't really work as a divine ideal, and least of all with Mawika as its representative? Also, it's a nation of war made up of 6 different factions, and yet there's absolutely no conflict between them. It really just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
This is why I personally always thought it would be cool if the Pyro Archon was a villain to her people. Maybe she makes them fight each other gladiator style for her own entertainment. And then maybe we would have a better rebellion storyline than Inazuma with an Archon that's completely irredeemable.
Yeah, I'll give Natlan this. Their people have unbreakable spirits. That's the thing. You would think they would devote their tech advances towards fighting the abyss too. Well, I mean, technically, they do. I mean, like Mawika uses her motorcycle to fight the abyss. I don't... Natlan's a fucking mess, guys. I don't think that this person's idea of, like, the god of war would be a great idea, of, like, having the 6 tribes, like, fight each other and, oh, the Archon is actually a villain. That wouldn't work, and that wouldn't work for, like, the sake of a gacha game, you know? But, like, it's, you know, I don't know.
Because we certainly know that the Cryo Archon is gonna get redeemed in some way if she's ever going to become playable.
Despite her
we'll
war
also
crimes.
touch on that in a later section in more detail. Instead, in Mawika, we have an Archon who is a Mary Sue. Ironic when she's the only Archon who is actually a human and would likely have the most flaws out of any of them. The thing is, Mawika is very flawed. She is extremely irresponsible and brash, even when it will put the lives of her entire nation at stake. Her nation is at war with the Abyss, and she's like, well, best thing I can do for you guys now is go to sleep for 500 years and hope and pray that the heroes I need will appear to me when I need them. What? That is crazy of you! And yet the game tries to make me feel bad for her for doing this. The game, instead of pointing out how terrible and risky this plan is, just focuses on the fact that Mawika had to say goodbye to her family in order to put this plan into action. Dog, I do not care. The writing doesn't focus at all on what's important here. It just...
I will say, I'm not like the biggest fan of people like just throwing around the term Mary Sue. I'm not a big fan of that, but you know, that's a me thing. Just because so much of it has like this underlying misogynistic connotation. Malwika, I don't feel like is a Mary Sue, but she just doesn't really feel like much of a character at all, really. I mean, like, yeah, it's sad that she had to... The Natlan's approach to their Archons is fascinating, and I wish they had kind of, like, focused on that a bit more, because all of the Archons are former humans. They've had, multiple different Archons over the course of, like, 500 years. So how does that affect the divinity of the Pyro Archon's throne and da-da-da? I don't know. I would have loved to see more of it, or have it explained it a bit better. I don't know.
Makes her out to be the perfect Archon who's good at everything and refuses to fail. There were no memorable parts of that quest for me, except for maybe the final battle. And it's not even like the characters here can make up for this nation's incredibly boring and stupid story. For me, all of them were so nothing. It boggles my mind that so many of y'all are shipping these MFs together when they barely have interesting relationships with each other at all. I feel like all of their personalities could be explained in one word. Mualani is bubbly. Kinich is standoffish. Kachina is insecure. Veresa, she eats a lot. Oh, and Mawika. What can be said that I haven't already touched on? She's good at everything. She's the perfect Archon, and even her reckless plan for saving her nation isn't questioned by anyone that matters or treated by the game as risky at all, even though it is. And in the end, she just defeats the Abyss with the power of friendship. It reminds me of that TikTok where they had the cutscene with all the heroes side by side with the clip from My Little Pony Equestria Girls.
No, that is true.
The writers go out of their way to make Mawika seem like the coolest person ever, when in reality she has like no personality. Like, can we talk about how her trailer was just this cringe ass music video where all of the nation heroes are playing instruments in a band? Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like literally unbearable to watch. And it's not like any of the other characters do anything to move the plot forward. This region...
So I will say, there were parts of the... I'm still not seeing what this YouTuber is saying. It just feels like Stan's getting mad at someone voices their dislike when people lost their shit. Like when people lost their shit at Norolites. I don't know who that person is. But yeah, so far, this person is just... correct? Like, I don't know. Everything she's saying is totally true. Now, I will admit, I was a little invested in Natlan's story. I can't remember when it was, but it was like this timer of like, yeah, you have to go to these battlefields and fight the monsters, and it shows you like casualties during the battle. And every time I saw that number, like, at first it was like, yeah, we had 0 casualties, yeah! And then it's like, oh, we had a couple, and then, oh, no, oh, that number's big, oh, God. Like, I did feel things in the Natlan story quest, but, like, obviously, but, like, as it went, there's still, like, a lot wrong with it.
Doesn't even know how to treat its lore-relevant characters as such. Auroran and Yansan are the Natlan heroes from the Masters of the Nightwind and the Collective of Plenty, respectively, but I guess they're not important enough to be the focuses of the Tribal Chronicles. Instead, those honors are given to Citlali and Veresa, the latter of which we hadn't even met during the Natlan Archon quest. She was literally invented just to take Yansan's place. I wonder why that is. In any case, most of the important...
No, so the thing is, too, is, like, in the trailer, the first, like, Genshin trailer, that kind of laid out the roadmap for me, Citlali was the only one of the Natlan characters who appealed to me and didn't feel like nothing. See, Oh, Christopher, I'm gonna, like, break your heart here. I cannot stand Citlali. There is something there. Citlali has the potential to be a really cool character of, like, being hundreds and hundreds of years old and losing the people that she's closest to, causing her to kind of shut herself away from the rest of her tribe and all that stuff. That's all really cool. But anytime the Traveler is in the same room, Citlali becomes completely just like, I cannot stand her. Holy shit. She is written as like this, oh, tsundere, like she doesn't care, baka, like that's how it feels. And it sucks because Genshin has written other characters who are seemingly canonically in love with the Traveler, and those were all fine. Those were all cool. Remember when we went on a date with Ayaka? That was cool. Remember when Linny was just like openly flirting with us? That's cool. But like with Citlali, it like the whole rest of the character. Citlali, it feels like her infatuation with the Traveler is the only thing about her that exists when the Traveler is on screen. For Ayaka and Noelle and like Xiao and all the other characters who have definitely canonical crushes on the Traveler, like their character is still present. Like Xiao is still this like isolated but slowly learning to open up like spirit. Ayaka is still like this beautiful crane, almost princess like figure who like stands up for justice. Noelle is still a knight in training who's doing her best to be the tryouts. Nah, it's alright. I will admit the tsundere thing with the Traveler feels weird. Cool, yeah. But with Citlali, if the Traveler is on screen, that's who she's thinking about. And it drives me up the goddamn wall. Like, there's this bit, like, with Sandrone, and she's like, you guys went alone together? It's not like I care. And I'm like, Citlali, you are a grown-ass fucking woman. Can you act like it? That's another thing, too. So many of Citlali's, like, animations and traits are so designed to be childish, and something about that just kind of makes me go, ugh. Anyway.
Different actions are driven by Mawika and the Traveler, so none of these characters feel important at all.
Yeah.
They're just accessories to, again, the power of friendship storyline. But like I said, that obviously doesn't work unless these characters feel like they have meaningful relationships
I like
with
the
each
power
other,
of friendship
which
thing,
they
but
don't.
it didn't
Needless to
work
say,
out here.
I did not pull for any of the Natlan characters, even though their combat mechanics are in the meta, right behind lunar reactions. The only one I really wanted, and only just recently got on Inefa's rerun, was the 4-star character Aoife. And that's mostly because he's a gorgeous cowboy. On the topic of Natlan
He's a gorgeous cowboy. No, that's true. And also, Aoife is like the one good designed Natlan character. One, because he's brown, even if it is like the barest minimum there. Two, he actually looks like what he is. He's a veterinarian. He's got a doctor's coat. He has scars all over him because he's working with dinosaurs. He's a dinosaur vet. And he looks like it. But if you asked me what, like, what was her name? I can't remember. The Ocelot woman, what her thing is, and you think, oh, she's a roller skater, disco DJ kind of person. She's a blacksmith. Her occupation is blacksmith. What the fuck do you mean she's a blacksmith? Also, by the way, blacksmith does not equate to motorcycle technician, because in canon, I'm so mad I can't remember her name. I can't even remember the letter it starts with. But the Ocelot rollerblade lady, she built Chashka's flying giant gun and Malwika's motorcycle. So, like, she's a mechanic, but also a blacksmith, and also... Anyway, everyone loves Aoife because he's the one good Notlan character.
Characters being in the meta. Notlan is also when the shill started getting really bad.
Yeah.
Soon enough, the Abyss and other endgame modes were tailor-made for Night Soul mechanics, with some bosses that are nearly impossible to beat without Notlan characters in the team. Just started a trend that only gets worse with time.
Yep.
One that leads us directly into...
Nod Cry. Woo! Okay, the Genshin villain problem. I don't mind Nod Cry's writing of Columbina. Like, I know that everyone wanted her to be this spooky, scary whatever, but, like, I didn't care that much, frankly. And in fact, I was more endeared to her as a character because of the Nod Cry questline and how she just felt like a drifter. She never really had a place where she belonged, until she realized that she did have a place she belonged, in the Fatui with Arlecchino and Sandrone and all those guys. I wouldn't be surprised if the Ocelot lady would build Iron Man. Shilonen is her name. It just came to me. Yeah, no, she could build Iron Man armor. That's canon. Anyway, Nod Cry.
It's hard to forget how hyped people were when the first trailer for the new area of Teyvat, Nod Cry, was released. Nod Cry is a sub-nation of Snezhnaya, the last of the 7 nations we are supposed to visit in our search for our lost twin, so naturally the lore is getting pretty intense here. But the reaction to seeing so many lore-relevant characters in one trailer was immense. We got first glimpses of 2 members of the Hexen Circle, Alice and Nicole, the Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius, Varka, who we'd only heard about in passing until this point, and 2 Fatui Harbingers that hadn't appeared on screen before, Sandrone and Columbina. Every look we got was very fleeting, and it was hard to glean any info from this trailer
And
alone,
everyone loved
but
Flynn.
people were still so excited. Imagine what Nod Cry has in store if there's so many important characters here, ones that we've only heard whispers about prior.
I liked seeing Columbina's
Nod
eyes.
Cry is better than Notlan by a long shot.
Oh yeah,
but
totally.
would you hate me if I said that this also disappointed me? Don't get me wrong, Nod Cry in a lot of ways was kind of a positive return to form for Genshin. First of all, these characters actually feel like they know each other past tee-hee, we're all best buddies. Aino and Nefa are so sweet, Varka and Flynn's are hilarious together, and Nefer and Lauma have some of the craziest Yuri subtext since Beidou and Ningguang. These characters feel more real as a result of their relationships with each other. I could enumerate more about them based on how they interact with others. Crazy, right? It made for a more interesting quest, too, one that I could more easily become invested in. Nod Cry did a lot of stuff right, but the true problem with the region unfortunately falls on the back of one character for me.
Columbina.
One that was so highly anticipated, not just by me, but by so many people in this fandom, but she delivered so little. Columbina.
Yeah.
I know, there's a lot of Columbina lovers out there, but I'm sorry. There are so many reasons I cannot stand this woman, and part of it is because she's a complete disappointment. You might be familiar with the way that people thought Columbina was going to be a creepy character, maybe leaning into the biblically accurate angel aesthetic. There was a super popular theory that Columbina was a member of the canonical angel race, so this would make sense in a way.
Yeah.
This creepy aesthetic for Columbina was also explored in a beautiful animation for Hoyo Fair called Stairway to Heaven by Kieru. The imagery is so spooky, and it uses like analog horror elements, and if you haven't seen it, you should watch it after this. Oh my god, it's amazing. And this assumption that Columbina would be scary was not for nothing. People are always like, you just had an image in your head of what you wanted Columbina to be, and now you're disappointed that it didn't happen. And even if that is partially why people are disappointed, there is still in-game evidence and evidence in lore-relevant YouTube videos to support what people thought about her. Let's go over some, shall we?
Show me
1.
the evidence.
Columbina's appearance. Let's go over what we knew she looked like from our first look at her, the Winter Nights Lotso trailer. First, she has black and dark pink hair, colors that do not suggest something delicate or gentle. However, these dark colors are paired with Columbina's winged headdress, made of white feathers like dove wings. Not
Yeah.
only does this mirror her name,
Little
Columbina,
dove.
which means little dove,
Yeah.
it also bears the appearance of a seraph, a type of angel in Christian theology.
Yeah.
Seraphs typically have 3 pairs of wings and have the role of singing the praises of their god.
Yeah.
Considering Columbina was a Fatui harbinger, maybe the praises that she was singing were for the Tsaritsa. Columbina is also clearly wearing a black and pink outfit under her Fatui coat, something that they very evidently dropped in her final design. Finally, Columbina has her eyes covered, suggesting maybe an unfeeling or uncaring personality, or maybe some mysterious power that lies behind her eyes. 2. Columbina's actions. In the trailer, she is singing a soft lullaby, smiling
Yeah.
gently while laying along the coffin of her recently deceased fellow harbinger. I don't care what anyone says, that's creepy. It shows that she kind of has this detached attitude regarding death, especially of her own colleague.
Fair.
3. What other characters say about her. Child's voice line about his fellow harbinger points the most to a scary character in Columbina.
The Fatui Harbingers are ranked by strength, and I have no idea why that girl is number 3. I'd test my skills with every Harbinger who ranks above me if I had the chance. But when it comes to her, something just doesn't feel right. Anyway, you should be careful around her.
Even Child sounded scared to challenge
Yeah.
her to a battle, and he loves fighting with strong opponents.
Yeah.
Scaramouche also suggests staying away from her and implies that she is not as innocent as she seems.
Let me ask. What should you do if you were to encounter a damsel who is oblivious and innocent at any given time, and unconcerned and unfeeling in any given situation? If it were me, I could at least challenge her to a fight. But if it were you,
Scara.
with your conscience,
With your
I would
conscience.
stay away from her.
Oh,
The way that
Wanderer.
I've seen people defend this is by saying that Child and Scaramouche are bad at reading people, and they didn't know her that well, so of course their assumption would be wrong.
That is true.
They just knew that she was powerful. Dude, you are not getting at the reason why these
But-
voice lines are put in the game.
Yeah.
Yes, they are useful for showing the relationships between characters and what characters think about each other, but they should also be used to provide hints and information about characters that we haven't met yet. If you put in a voice line about Columbina not being what she seems, then people are going to listen to that and assume
Yeah,
that she's not what
that
she
is
seems,
fair.
and there's nothing wrong with that. I think people just aren't willing to admit that.
What was Arlecchino's voice line about Columbina? Genshin Arlecchino. Cause Arlecchino is actually really good friends with Columbina. So Child and Wanderer are one thing. But I don't remember what Arlecchino says, so give me a moment looking it up. But also, 22 minutes in, she has yet to say anything that is incorrect. Let's see, about the damselette. I think it's lagging. Dang it. Am I lagging on stream? Oh, yeah, I am. Shit. Damn. That sucks. Ugh. How's it for y'all? Anyway, yeah, whatever. But yeah, no, Arlecchino's line is like, she is a very special harbinger. Pose her a question, and the answer you receive will be entirely unpredictable, if she sees fit to give a proper answer at all. Regardless, any answer you do receive is sure to be an interesting one. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, Columbina, whatever.
Genshin has bad and inconsistent writing sometimes.
Yeah.
4th, her rank. Columbina
She
was
is
long
number
known to
3.
be the 3rd harbinger. It's also been known for a long time that the closer they are to number 1 in the rankings, the more powerful they are.
Yeah.
Columbina being number 3, especially right below Dottore, who is notably unhinged and evil, suggests that she is not only similarly powerful, but also similarly devoted to her work as part of a major villain faction. I cannot stress this enough.
I would pause there. because like, it's very clear. YouTube stream has been so funky. You cut out for a bit, but you're good now. Yay. Hi, Faf. So, like, it's very clear that all the Harbingers are only Harbingers for their own purposes. Child's a Harbinger because, like, he does truly love the Saritsa, but also just because it means he gets to kill people for a living. Dottore is a Harbinger because it gives him access to, like, research materials, of which he uses to do his own shit. All of the Harbingers are just kind of doing their own thing and using each other out of convenience. So I wouldn't say that, like, Columbina being number 3 right below Dottore means that they're any more devoted to the Saritsa's work, because very clearly Dottore don't give a shit about the Saritsa, so...
Clearly there is a wealth of evidence to support the theories that people had about Columbina.
Yeah.
I'm tired of people pretending that it wasn't there, and I'm tired of people pretending that it wouldn't have worked tonally. There is literally a villain who does human experimentation. There was literally a genocide in Conria.
Yeah.
But no. Instead, we learn that Columbina is actually a moon goddess? Okay, sure. But also, she's actually just a damsel in distress, like her name suggests.
No.
She's timid and soft-spoken and gentle, and she's shy at first, but eventually opens up to you, and you are the most special person in her life, even though you've known her for maybe 2 weeks.
I would not say that. So here I am kind of disagreeing a little bit. Columbina's relationship with the Traveler is not just ooh-woo, romance, hee-hee. I will admit there are some elements of it there. That's irrefutable, that there are some tee-hee, oh, you're the most specialist person. What it more so became clear was that Columbina was realizing her own feelings for Sandrone and Arlecchino, and realizing that she did have a home and people who loved her and weren't just using her. That's kind of the whole thing. Like, Columbina feels like in the Fatui, everyone is only using each other, and if you do something for somebody else, then you expect something to be done for you in return. That's how Columbina has functioned for, like, centuries. And then the Traveler comes in and is like, hey, do you need anything? And she's like, oh, no. Do you need me to do something for you? And then the Traveler's like, no, we were asking you. Like, you don't need to repay us at all. So that's the situation Columbina is in. I do definitely agree that the vibe, like, she was built up to be spookier than she actually was, but I don't think it's completely contradictory. But I do understand this person's disappointment with it all.
I cannot stand how willfully obtuse people will be about Columbina, pretending not to see the fan service that is sitting right in front of them.
No, you're right.
She hides behind the Traveler when she doesn't know how to talk to people. Aw, she likes to eat snacks. Aw,
True.
You get to feed her during
That-
Moon Prayer
yeah.
night while the English VA is moaning into the mic every 2 seconds. Aw, she's so weak. She can't do anything by herself and probably would have died if the Traveler hadn't rescued her. Aw. People like to pretend that it's somehow misogynistic to point this out.
No.
Again, purposefully ignoring that Hoyo is writing her this way intentionally. Guys,
Yeah.
I kid you not, she literally turns invisible for a significant portion of the Archon quest. I promise you, that is not feminist. And it's not even like...
I mean, no, there are some convoluted parts of Columbina's story, but, I don't agree with the complaints being made right now, but I also can't say that they're entirely wrong. Like, yeah, that's fair.
the moon goddess thing makes any sense. They even come up with some last-minute reason why she covers her eyes. There was a time when I refused to look upon the world. I believed it was full of nothing but lies and falsehoods. I wished to hide my feelings, seal my heart, until I could return to my true home. Oh my god. If this is what they originally planned to do with her, which it wasn't, then she was a goddamn waste of a Harbinger slot. It is so clear to me that she was never their original intention for the Moon Goddess. Her design suffers so bad as a result of Hoyo's ineptitude. I mean, look at these colors. They don't go together at all. Oh my god, she's so beautiful. No, she's not. Her design is two different designs smashed together. In fact, these colors only look okay together when they purposefully give the outfit more purple tones, which they could have just as easily done in the game model, but they didn't. Even her constellation is
Terrifying
done in
art
the game
view.
model, but
How is that terrifying? I don't know.
they didn't. Even her constellation is a mishmash of her Fatui aesthetic and her goddess aesthetic. We have both the traditional portrait shape that all the other gods in the game get, and also her symbol of the crying dove, just shoved right in at the bottom. I completely believe the idea that Not Cry, or that this character at least, was rewritten at some point, because there is no indication that they had any semblance of a plan for such a highly anticipated character. And the most frustrating part about all of this to me is that Hoyo actually leans into several of the things that people thought about Columbina, but only enough that it feels like they're teasing and laughing in the face of their fans, as if we read into it too much or something. In her burst, she grows wings like an angel, and these wings bear resemblance to a Seelie Court, both echoing the theory that she is an angel.
Yeah.
But she's not an angel. In her character trailer, she performs a ballet, which calls to mind, for me, the very popular fan design in which she was a ballerina, something that the ribbons on her hands and feet might suggest. And it kills me because this trailer is beautiful. The visuals and the choreography are gorgeous. The symbolism of Dottore as the pianist who's controlling the dance by playing the music, oh my god, I
Yeah.
love it. But it would
That
be
shit
even
was
better
good.
if she was a dancer or a ballerina of some kind, because
And she isn't.
Even though that would have made a lot of sense thematically with her singing.
It would
Perhaps
have
the
been
strangest
cool.
example of Hoyoverse leaning into the theories about Columbina is that they have the singer Aurora wearing a dress with eyes on it during the
Oh.
Welkin Moon concert, which
Oh.
suggests the biblically accurate angel thing. Maybe I'm reading too much into this.
That
This
might
last
be
one, especially, but
that might be reading too much into it, but I also can't entirely blame her.
I cannot take it. It is so frustrating because they are so close. But no, Genshin is allergic to having playable characters who are morally gray or irredeemable. This leads
I would say, okay, so people keep saying, like, this isn't just with this video, but saying, like, oh, Genshin can't do playable characters that are morally gray. And I'm like, do you people forget that Child kills people? And he likes murder? Did we forget that aspect? Because he does. Even after he becomes a playable character, he is still doing questionable shit. He's just our friend now. We're just friends with the morally questionable guy. Same with Arlecchino. Like, even though she, like, does her best for the orphanage and so that they don't have to suffer like she did, she is still a Fatui Harbinger, sending these children out on dangerous missions. Like, just because she doesn't want these children to die doesn't mean she isn't raising child soldiers. She's just doing it slightly more ethically than the last, orphanage head. But guess what? They're still child soldiers. These characters are still morally gray and ethically dubious, but they're still our friends. I don't understand why people say that, like, oh, Genshin characters can't ever, like, be evil. It's like, no, they are. Wanderer has killed a lot of people, like, with his own hands. He has murdered people before. That's canon. he was Wanderer was given the backstory of like, oh, but he was abandoned by his creator and then manipulated by Dottore and all that stuff. It's like, okay, so yes, those things happened. He still chose to do murder, though. I hesitate to say morally gray, but I feel like, at least from my experience, they kind of brush stuff under the rug and pretend like it's not a big deal or it didn't happen. I feel like maybe that's true a little bit, but I also think I don't know, I don't fully agree with it. Anyway, this person still is correct for the most part. I don't agree with everything, but, like, I get it.
To what I lovingly refer to as the Genshin villain problem. Other popular gacha games, like Cookie Run Kingdom, literally have morally reprehensible or canonically dead characters.
What the fuck? I don't know anything about Cookie Run. Oh my god. Who are these people? What is...
that are playable. What is stopping Genshin from making their villains stay villains, but also become playable? Columbina is just an embodiment of a bigger problem in Genshin. They do not want to have any characters who have questionable morals become playable. Most of the time, this ends up going in two ways. The first is that the character is redeemed and then becomes friends with the Traveler before becoming playable. This is what has happened to every playable Harbinger thus far. Tartaglia fights anything that moves, but he respects the Traveler even though they have different motives and values. He only ever wants a friendly spar with them. Scaramouche has no...
Okay, so let's hold up. Child's idea of a friendly spar is a battle to the death. I think we're maybe missing that point. Like, he loves to kill things. He loves a fight. He's so down to throw down. It's not funny. Like, he's not... I wouldn't say that Child was redeemed. We just became friends with him. It's like if you became buddies with a serial killer, and the serial killer's like, oh, I won't kill you, but you mind if we, like, throw knives at each other sometime? It's like, okay. Cookie Run Kingdom, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm glad they're having fun. Faf, that's my mood exactly.
No one else who understands his past and is connected with the Traveler in that way. Arlecchino is a ruthless woman who is grooming children to be a part of the Fatui, but it turns out that the House of the Hearth is a lot less sinister under her rule, so that's okay too, I guess.
Well, no. They don't brush aside that. I mean, they kind of do, actually, but, like, that's the ethical dilemma there. The House of the Hearth used to be worse. Arlecchino has made it better, but it's still bad. That's the ethical dilemma. Yeah, Arknights has no problem letting war criminals be playable. Good for them.
And Columbina.
This battle was never about fate. It's about friends, family, and the home you
This is the
stole.
most obnoxious thing I've ever experienced in my life.
The second way it goes is that the character cannot be redeemed and is therefore killed off so that they won't become playable. This is what happened to Signora way back in Inazuma, and most recently it happened to Dottore. This was honestly shocking to me, especially considering how much of a fan favorite Dottore is.
Dottore dying.
Let me be clear. Dottore is a horrible person, and he should not be redeemed. We should be able to understand his motives without forgiving him for what he has done. He has imposed so much pain on so many people in the game.
I do love crimes Dottore stands accused of. Murder, human experimentation, desecration of a corpse, medical malpractice, scientific misconduct, terrorism, many more. I love it. Oh, is this Genshin Impact? Yeah. Friends with a serial killer that you throw knives at each other, aka Hannibal. Oh my god. Yeah, no, it's like, they're still a serial killer, but, like, they're cool with you. No, Dottore
morals are extremely corrupt,
evil and
but
fucked up.
He's still very, very interesting, and you can sometimes almost understand where he's coming from while still not condoning his methods.
No, dude, Dottore, God, it was so funny in Nodcry. He's like, what? You can kill people free of consequence here. I'm giving you the chance. Why won't you do that? And, like, the Traveler's like, because I don't want to kill people. And, like, Dotori is literally one of those guys who's like, if it weren't for laws and ethics, people would just be murdering each other. And it's like, no, I think that's a you problem.
Which, I must stress, is what makes a well-written villain. People love this guy's character.
Yeah.
But now, he can never become playable because as of right now, he's dead. Little did you know, though, that there is a secret third option, which is what they did to Capitano.
Capitano does...
of options 1 and 2.
That does
They
suck.
redeemed him, and then still killed him off anyway. What a strange decision that was. Again,
I
for a
wouldn't say they
character that was extremely
redeemed
highly
him.
anticipated, they just threw in all this tragic backstory for him at the very end of the Natlan Archon quest, and then he fucking died right after that, so none of it mattered at all. It's like they don't understand their own visual cues. A perfect example of this to me is Escoffier. Maybe, again, this might be just me, but even she gave me creepy vibes in the silhouette teaser from the live stream where they revealed upcoming characters for 2025. She has this hair that sticks out, the shape of which largely resembles horns and conveys a sort of like wildness of her personality. She has a devil's pitchfork tail that's positioned up where we can clearly see it. And she's holding a sharp knife up. Like, she looked psycho to me. And I was...
Okay. Dotori almost got me to give Genshin more of a chance, but it's just not for me. That's fair. Dotori is such a fun, like, bastard of a villain. He's incredible to fight against. Cause he's just like, he just does the most heinous shit, and he's like, yeah, what of it? And you're like, what the fuck? It's incredible. I don't agree with this point, whatever this person is saying, because Escoffier is a chef, and, like, I kind of see, no, her OC is so cute. I kind of see what she means by, like, giving off kind of creepier vibes. Like, she looks like she has, like, a devil chef theme, you know? But instead, she's just cutesy hearts, all that stuff. But, like, very clearly, she's a chef. She makes food. That's what the knife is for.
I was intrigued. And at least that would have been interesting and different. But no, not only is this design ass, but it's also...
I do fucking hate Escoffier's design. She looks terrible, and I hate it.
So incredibly misleading. She's just kind of a tsundere who's very particular about her food.
I also haven't played her quest.
I don't understand why they're like this, guys. One of my favorite comments that I've seen about this that just perfectly embodies my feelings on the matter is this from the unofficial Genshin subreddit. They're allergic to morally gray, redeemable, or just bad characters because they don't know how to write anything that isn't a shitty isekai where the main character wins using the power of friendship and his harem. Speaking of harem...
What? Part 3, what? Okay. Alright, let's go.
It's an anime
That's
gacha
fair.
game. You have to expect fan service. Okay, I know that. But Genshin used to be different from other games in its genre, and I mean that genuinely. There used to be a much better ratio of female to male 5-star characters than many other gacha games, because so many gacha games are targeted at male audiences who aren't perceived as being interested in the male characters. And there were sexy character outfits, especially on the women, lots of detached sleeves, short skirts, also known as the coochie flap, thigh-high socks, or boots. But they were nowhere near as bad as they are now. These women are nearly naked now.
Yeah.
And not only does that make me mad and uncomfortable from a standpoint of being a woman who feels objectified just by looking at these designs, but also from a character design standpoint. I have quite a bit to say about the sharp drop-off in not only the quality of the Genshin character designs, but also in the tastefulness of them. To show you what I mean, we can talk about some early Genshin designs to compare them to more recent ones. I think it's important to discuss the physical elements of these characters first before we discuss the fan service elements of their presentation, writing, and personalities, because the physical appearance is the most obvious element. but I promise we will get to the other stuff in due time. Also keep in mind that I'm only going to be talking about female characters because most of the time, the male characters are almost always covered from chin to toe now, aka
Men used to
fan
go to
service
war.
is not equal.
Can they write? They just don't want it because it means less money. Oh my god, men used to go to war.
Almost always covered from chin to toe now, aka the fan service is not equal opportunity. One of the first characters I'll mention is Lisa, one of the very first anime fan servicey characters that we're introduced to in the game.
But, like,
she
that's
teases
her
the
whole
traveler,
bit.
she calls them cutie, and she's averse to doing any sort of work. Her character design communicates so much about her though, nonetheless. Her hairstyle, which is very loose and almost looks like it's falling out on one side, shows us that lazy element of her personality. Her purple, black, and gold color palette obviously communicates her element of electro, but also a sense of importance, luxuriousness, and magic. Her classically styled witch hat also conveys the latter, of course. Yai Miko is similar to Lisa in terms of teasing personality, although Miko can get a bit more cruel and self-indulgent with it.
Yeah.
She has a sharper eye shape than Lisa's gentle, round eyes to indicate this part of her personality. Her outfit is also a stylized version of a traditional Japanese shrine maiden outfit, giving her the required amount of gacha game sexiness while also showing her spiritual importance in Inazuma, her design being more complicated than the other shrine.
Oh, I don't understand anything about Genshin, but it's nice to have the stream in the background. Yay! Yeah, as long as the boys can be equally shirtless, it's okay. No, it's true. Like, genuinely. Look, if you're gonna have sexy anime characters in your game, then it better not just be sexy women. You need sexy men. All right? Like, come on. It's not that hard. And the thing that, part of it too is, like, because the, like, ideals of, like, what makes a character sexy to women and what makes a character sexy to men are very, very different. Cause like Flynn's, everyone thinks Flynn's is hot as fuck. Even though he's, like, completely covered head to toe. But I don't know, man. It's hard. It's hard to, like, kind of put into words. But then you get to, like, the female characters, and then Lauma just gestures to Lauma. I saw this fan art of Lauma that the design was not altered in any way, but, like, the person just drew her, like, with realistic, like, body proportions. She was drawn as a person. And that genuinely made me appreciate the design more, because it felt more just, like, loving to the human body. And if that was how Lauma was modeled instead of generic sexy anime woman, then, like, I think that would have been cool. Also, Lauma should have scars. It is canon that she has scars across her body because she, like, uses her blood to heal people. Why are they not present on her character model? You fucking cowards.
Maidens also signifies that her role is the most important of all of them. Her hair is the color of a sakura blossom, and she has cherry blossom motifs in her clothing, again emphasizing her Japanese inspiration, but also her connection to the sacred sakura of Inazuma, which is deeply connected with her element of electro.
Yeah.
Xinyan is one of my favorite Liyuan character designs because it combines traditional elements of Chinese clothing styles with Xinyan's rock aesthetic, so you immediately know by looking at her what she represents. Xinyan wears lots of dark colors, spikes, and fishnet, features common in punk or alternative clothing styles. All of this is accented by red and orange, obviously representing her pyro vision, but also her passionate and...
Hey, Garchomp Johnson, you do realize that there are literally characters in Genshin who have scars? They're just not women? Shut the fuck up about the CCP. I don't care. Shut up. I'm talking about an anime video game.
fiery personality. Her hair even looks like it's glowing from the inside, which I
I
always thought
do
was such a
love
cool
Xinyan
detail.
so
However,
much.
Xinyan also has some very subtle nods to her Liyue culture. So while she mostly represents a counterculture in Liyue, she still maintains cohesion with the other character designs in
Yeah.
her region. The last of the older character designs that I'm going to touch on is Navia's, probably my favorite
Navia.
Fontanian
Navia.
design personally. This
Woo!
design is basically a sluttier version of a traditional French aristocratic gown.
Okay,
but
well,
it still covers most of her.
I don't appreciate the use of like sluttier, but I mean, I guess I see the idea of it, but whatever.
Her body. Navia's design exudes wealth. It is full of ruffles and jewels. She has these big, billowy curls. She's got this
Yeah.
big hat decorated with feathers. She brings along a frilly parasol. She also maintains connection to her hometown of Poisson with these ship wheels on her hips,
Yes.
as well as the canon theming of her elemental burst. Navia is also a very cheerful character, which her yellow color palette communicates. And she also has got these cute sparkles in her eyes that
I
show
love
that.
her.
As you can see, these designs are not only pretty tasteful in terms of gacha character designs, but they also do their job. They communicate information about the character,
Yeah.
even if you knew nothing about them to begin with. This is what makes a good character design, and it is ironically what many character designs in modern Genshin fail to do. Not only that, but they also get more and more boring and more insulting as time goes on.
All right, hit
So
me
let's
up.
take a walk through them, shall
Hit
we?
me up. What do
This
you
ought to
got?
be fun. One of my least favorite recent characters is Lali.
Yeah!
I know, a fan favorite, but I'm sorry, I do not like her.
Fucking hate Sit
Her
Lolly.
design certainly isn't the most offensive of the Natlan ones. I just find her annoying.
Yeah.
I do think her English VA is very good at their job.
No.
And that they do a great job.
That's the thing too. Like Sitlali's English voice actress is so good at like just expressing this kind of like childish like but also this deep wisdom and this sorrowful hurt and stuff. Her English voice actress is so good at that, and then they use her to be a tsundere, and I'm like, oh girl, I'm so sorry.
With Lali's voice, but I really just don't like the character's writing. We will talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
One of the things I dislike about her design, though, is this goddamn leotard that she's wearing.
I also hate it.
This girl is literally wearing a thong. The sweater thing would go right up her butt crack.
Yeah.
I cannot stand stuff like this. Also, side note real quick, I have to pause to talk about the state of Genshin character trailers. Can we talk about how these videos used to be actual showcases of the characters' combat abilities? With
Yeah.
like little elements of story sprinkled in? Ones that strike this balance well, in my opinion, are Nahida's trailer, Farina's trailer, and Arlecchino's trailer. But now, character trailers are either, one, headache-inducing fan edits with...
What? Wait, why does Sitlali's have like
But
the
now,
internet?
character trailers are either, one,
Why does
headache-inducing...
she have? Why does she have that? What the fuck?
fan edits with these wildly inappropriate aesthetic choices like Nefer's trailer or Lali's, or two, music videos that make me feel like I'm going to implode from cringing, like
Yeah.
Shilonen or Mawika's trailer.
Yeah.
At most, these ones show the elemental burst animation. It doesn't tell you anything about what it's like to actually play the character in the video game that I'm supposed to be pulling for them in. Tell me how that's supposed to give me a good impression of these characters. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to Lali's
No, they're
outfit.
right.
It's the same thing with Mawika. Her design features a zipper that goes all the way around between her legs up to her back. That can't be comfortable, right? Especially riding a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And also, what exactly does this design communicate
Is
about
that the
Mawika
Kahoot
other
music?
than being a biker? Yeah, I guess she's got sun imagery to represent her Archon hood, but to me, her hair is the only thing about her design that gives me Pyro Archon. But then,
Yeah.
you know, all of that still goes away when she fights and her hair lights up. And then we have Veresa.
Oh, Veresa.
I was really excited about this design when I saw the silhouette in that same teaser
Because
we
it
were
does
talking
look
about
cute.
earlier.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, a girl that's a cow. Oh my god, that's gonna be so
Yeah,
cute.
cowgirls.
I love these braids and the big horns. I mean, I wonder what kind of color palette she'll have. Maybe like browns and greens, something earthy because she's a farm animal. Oh. Yeah. I mean, I guess that works too. Just kidding. I hate this design. One
Yeah.
of my least favorites in the
No,
entire
you're correct.
game. I just like... What was the point, dude?
Taco
Why is she
cow.
so, like, kawaii themed?
Exactly!
She's got hearts and bows everywhere. She wears leg warmers and a cardigan. The skirt is pointless because
The fact that she wears leg warmers and a cardigan and she lives next to a volcano, like, it's me when I accuse a gacha game of being a gacha game. What? So again, I have minor complaints about this video so far, but like, it's not incorrect. It's not totally incorrect here.
it's too short to cover her ass. You expect me to believe that this is a lucha libre fighter?
Yeah, the fact that so she has way too much going on. She's this kawaii, like, ugu soft girl who eats I can't get this goddamn egg shape right. And so she's like this ugu whatever. Let's see. But like, I don't know, man. Veressa sucks, dude.
I know that luchadoras often dress in similar silhouettes
Yeah.
to Veresa's outfit, but they didn't incorporate any elements of the culture that Veresa is inspired by,
No.
or the one that her name comes from. There are plenty of lucha libre fighters who incorporate elements of their culture into their costumes.
Egg.
They could have gotten really creative with it. But it's not like it even matters because we never even get to see her fight like a luchadora in the game.
No.
It's all just the food bullshit and falling on her ass all the time.
Uh-huh.
It's especially frustrating because the animators have been getting really creative with the normal attack animations lately. They could have gone crazy with her and made her do insane moves. Something like this.
Yeah!
Like I said earlier, I was interested too in Escoffier's design based on the silhouette, but I was also very disappointed with this reveal. Not only does this outfit make no sense with regards to breaking up any colors or with this weird heart theming that she has, similar to Veresa.
I don't understand. See, that's another thing. Yeah, also, I don't know, bye Garchomp Johnson. That's another thing that really bothers me about, like, Genshin. Oh, I got an egg! Like, these character designs is, like, they're, like, you can have subtle symbols and whatever, but as time went on, we just had more and more, like, very obvious, cutesy sort of styles. Like when, what was her name? The Melazine nurse. Yeah, most gacha games have this problem. It's a problem with the whole genre. You're right. But it still is, like, deserving of criticism, I feel. Fuck, what was her name? I loved her. What the hell? The Melazine character. Like, she had hearts on her design, and it was very cutesy and stuff, but that kind of fit with how the Melazines just kind of are. But then you have Escoffier, who is a chef and also has a heart theme. And then Veresa, who has, like, another heart theme and is cutesy and stuff. And it's like, it just kind of lessens the impact of those original characters. Sigeween, thank you so much.
Again, I don't know why they keep doing this, but her outfit is literally just the sexy chef Halloween.
It is, though!
She's wearing an apron with nothing underneath
I know,
it. Not only is that insulting...
Dude, no. I played Escoffier in, like, one of the like, trial run things, and she has, like, fully, like, textured, like, pantaloons. Why the hell do we need to see that? I don't get it.
But it's boring and it's lazy. You guys literally couldn't bother to design a shirt for her to wear under this apron. They would just rather put more effort into the detailing on her fucking stockings than design her a shirt. Skirk makes me mad in a similar way because they literally took an already very revealing outfit and made her more naked when she made the transition from NPC to playable character.
Fuck.
Lauma is one of the ones that makes me the saddest because I actually really love the way that she's written in the narrative.
No,
her voice acting is so
written
beautiful
so
and
well.
gentle, and I find her quiet strength to be really, really compelling.
It is.
It just sucks because she would
She
be
looks like
perfect
that.
if she wasn't almost naked.
Uh-huh.
For Lauma, I don't feel hatred like I do for Verissa because Lauma has good writing to make up for her design.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for her. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you poor woman. You're probably so cold and uncomfortable all the time. Actually, she's named after a creature from Baltic folklore that's traditionally depicted as a nude woman. That is literally just another excuse to make a woman with large breasts walk around with a single piece of cloth covering her ass. You can't convince me that Lauma isn't meant to be sexualized by the game when she makes this face while bound by Rayrear. Finally,
okay, I think that aren't pantaloons large shorts. I don't know that, but like, I was trying to say like a nicer way of. Did I delete my like? Fuck. No, but so far this person is correct about everything. I don't know that she has yet to say anything wrong so far.
we have Nefer. Now, I don't really hate this design necessarily. I actually really like the top of it. Her hairstyle is really cool. I love the cape and the vibrant gold and green colors. But it's just another design in this long pattern of just giving up on the legs of these female character designs.
True.
Not only does this white skirt completely blend into her insanely pale skin, but they also make no effort to give her some socks or stockings to balance out these colors.
No, dude, I think some like tights on Nefer would have been so like fire. She would have looked so sick, and honestly probably like sexier with some like stockings, with like with just, I don't know, something. Come on, give her the detailed leggings,
or make the design more interesting. Like, I really love this fan.
Ooh, yeah, that fucks. Hello, I do have some issues when it comes to the fan service in character designs. I'm also a character designer myself, and it annoys me when it comes to these designs. Yeah, exactly. Like, here's the thing. You can have sexy anime characters. I don't care. I love beautiful anime women. But, like, do it, like, good. Like, I don't know, man. Like, come on. There are ways to do it. Like, Beto is, like, technically wearing, like, a swimsuit thong-looking thing. But I love her design. And I don't quite know what the difference is. What is the magic sauce that has been lost in the modern designs? No, but see, this redesign of Nefer isn't even, like, any less sexual. And in fact, it only accentuates her legs and the thighs, but it's a good design because it's visually interesting. It's not hard.
And design that not only gives her a darker skirt, but also some snake pattern thigh-high socks. I really wish that they had leaned into her snake theming more, as a side note. But alas, it's always the same. A super detailed design from the waist up, and absolutely nothing except maybe a thigh garter on the legs. Again, Columbina falls into this too. She wears this super detailed, tiny dress, one that's so short it makes her legs look obscenely long like a spider. And then she doesn't even wear shoes, just these fuck-ass water orb heels because they couldn't bear to let a woman walk flat on her feet. And the way that these...
I mean, that I will, like, argue against. I do think that Columbina's heels are dope as fuck, so, like, you're wrong about that, but everything else you're pretty spot on.
These women are drawn sometimes is so stupid too. Even the character designs that I consider to be better than these suffer from the fan service. Even though I wish her skirt was longer to add some variety to the designs, I really like Mizuki's design. But she literally shows her butt to the camera during her burst and in her official art. In fact, Hoyo only draws these characters in impossible poses more and more for the sake of making them more goonable. Literally, Mizuki is posed so you can somehow see her underboob and butt at the same time. They do the
Yeah.
same thing with Mawika. Her back is
Mawika
arched so
is
heavily just so that they can display both her cleavage and her ass.
Yeah.
Veresa's also the same. Plus she's making that face like, oh, you caught me and I have food all over my face. Oh no. Oh my god. I hated saying that out loud.
You're
and
not
Silali
wrong.
is literally squishing her chest so
No.
heavily with
Oh my god. When Raven and I discovered that like Columbina in this art, like her like boobs are being squished up, we were both just like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you like actually serious? That is the dumb why like it kind of just exemplifies everything wrong with Citlali as a character. Ah!
what? A stuffed animal? A pillow? That is not how this part of the body works. This is only one of the anime fan service tropes that Genshin has increasingly leaned into over time.
Yeah.
As the game progresses, we only get more and more characters that fit the tsundere character type.
Yeah.
It's over, guys.
Yeah.
We only get more and more characters that fit the tsundere
fucking
character
over.
type. Oh my god, I can't fucking say it.
Are you not
As
saying
the game
it?
progresses, we only get more. Oh my. It's over, guys. We only get more and more characters that fit the tsundere character type. Oh my god.
I hear what she's
I
saying
can't
wrong
fucking
now.
say this. As the game progresses, we only get more and more characters that fit the tsundere character type, which I personally find annoying. Citlali and Sandrone are the biggest examples of this, but I would also argue that Escoffier falls into this trope sometimes.
I would say, like, Sandrone, she's not fully... I mean, she totally is. Like, Sandrone is, like, a tsundere, but written better. She's not, like, perfect, but it is, like, very clearly a front. Because it is, like, she actually does care deeply, but, like, she's just sucks at showing it. And that is explored in a really cool way, because she's like, why did the people I actually tolerate being around always leave me in the end? It's like, that's interesting and cool. And I feel like her character is done in a way that is, like, you know, good. But, yeah.
Somewhat related is the increasing number of characters who have very obvious crushes or similar devotion to the Traveler, all of whom seem to be women, ironically. Ayaka was a big one early on, but since then we've had Mizuki blushing around the Traveler, and the game purposefully putting her into situations in which we're meant to, like, cutely embarrass her. It's clearly meant to have a teasing romantic tone to it. Similarly, Citlali has a big crush on the Traveler, made evident by being portrayed like this in her Valentine's Day art, and by all the times the game has given us very convenient plot-related ways to read each other's thoughts.
Yeah.
Dude, this shit is painful to play. And then most recently we've had Columbina, who, again, has only one true friend in the Traveler, and she cute.
I would say, like, everything about her take on Columbina, as she is written in the game, is wrong. I will say that the complaint of, like, Columbina was not who she was, like, led up to be. That's fair. That's fine. But as Columbina is presented in the game, it is not that the Traveler is her ooh-woo one true friend. It is the fact that the Traveler treated her very bluntly like a person and said, hey, like, you don't, like, relationships are not transactional. You don't need to do anything for me when I do something for you. And that's what made the Traveler different in Columbina's eyes. But, I mean, so, whatever.
Hides behind you and you get to feed her.
That is weird.
Again,
that was
these
fan
are all
service
very
bit.
romance-coded behaviors. The Traveler is literally represented as her savior and dance partner in her trailer. It is a pattern at this.
I also really fucking hate, pardon me for being a woman and also a Lumine player, but I really, really hate how, like, people just forget that you can also play as Lumine. You can also play as a girl. Like, come on, people. It's not that hard.
Point. Can we please let women have more interesting relationships with the main character than being their shy waifu all the time? And again, this fan service is never equal opportunity. The male characters never get to have interactions or relationships like this with the player.
So much.
Why not? We also have character-specific tropes. Veresa, I'm getting to you now. She was tailor-made for the feeder fetish. I kid you not, in one of her trailers, they animate food going into her stomach, and her stomach, like, jiggles and stuff, and oh my god. It is genuinely one of the most sickening and uncomfortable things I have seen coming out of this company. Her entire thing is eating comically large amounts of food. She has nothing else that matters to her
she's
character,
not wrong.
to her personality, or anything about her. It's not like this would necessarily be bad on its own, but guys, she is literally a cow. This character is extremely insulting, and I hate her. And that's not even mentioning how she literally fights by falling on her ass. When you are playing her, she will fall and her ass will be facing the camera for multiple seconds before she gets up. And your eye is naturally drawn there because of her bright pink tail against her black skirt. And then when she gets up, she'll like dust herself off and be like, owie, that hurt, shut up. And then we've got Nefer and her whole like clones thing.
I don't get
and
the
clones are like her servants, and she poses with them in sexually charged ways. Like she's holding this one's face and this one is laying in her lap. Like, I don't have to like, spell out the way that this is incredibly
I don't get that
fetishistic,
either.
right? I mean, Nefer literally does the stripper crawl across the table toward the camera in her trailer. She's meant to give femdom. And I mean, like, the clones basically serve no purpose to her theming as a character. I think they could have taken them out of her whole thing and it wouldn't have made a difference to her kit or to her gimmicks. They literally only did it because they knew people would drool over it. Editing Aurelia
Let
here.
her
In the
be
process of making this
femdom.
video, Linnea has been released, and I just have to interject to say, what the fuck were they thinking with this character? I feel like a crazy person because I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't think she's adorable and in fact recognizes her for the creepy freak that she is. First of all, she clearly has absolutely no respect for living things that are not traditionally human. She keeps asking to touch and pet the Melusines as if they are not whole people. It's especially creepy because the Melusines are made to look like children. Having an adult character who is high-key obsessed with them and can't treat them as the people they are was a fucked up move on Hoyo's part. They literally make a point to emphasize the humanity of the Melusines and how they had to fight to be accepted in Fontanian society, and now we have a playable character who we are supposed to think is cute, harassing them and treating them as though they are pets. It's disgusting. Her trailer is sickening for the same reason. She fantasizes about being rubbed up on by Siegeween, who, again, looks like a child, and Kirita, along with other Melusines and Nekomata. It reads as extremely fetishistic to me, which is a problem when the people that she's fantasizing about look like children. She chases these people around and doesn't seem to let up after being told multiple times to back off. There are multiple promotional materials in which she asks to touch a Melusine, which makes me think that it's happened more than once or twice. I mean, at least her character quest wasn't as bad. I won't spoil it, obviously, because I said I wouldn't talk about content past Luna 5, but I still don't find this character appealing or compelling at all, as I feel like I've made it very clear. She doesn't even have an interesting design to make
Her
up
design
for it.
is so
She's
nothing.
literally just a copy-paste
Oh,
of
my-
Charlotte.
Holy
Even
shit,
the
you're
wish art
right.
is the same. I haven't felt such a burning hatred for a character in a long time. Hoyoverse had the opportunity to portray Linnea as a character with a disability that made it difficult for her to fit in, because that was largely the reason the myth of changelings arose in the first place. The fairies were thought to swap their fae children for a human child, which was how several mythologies explained neurodivergence in children. Instead of portraying a really heartwarming story about a character who's autism-coded, we instead get a freak who can't stop harassing anyone with non-human features. Ironic, considering how they want to portray her as an outcast who had no friends because she was a fae who looked different. Also, can we talk about how her lore makes no sense because the Saritsa and the Fatui are meant to be hunting down fae and eradicating them? Hence why Flynn's hides his identity. It's just completely fine that Linnea is outwardly a fae, perhaps even more obviously so than Flynn's because she doesn't cover the wings on her head or her crystal markings. Whatever. I really hope people open their eyes to how terrible this character is. Sorry if you feel kinship with her. She is not cute. She is not funny. She has no appealing character traits, and there are far better characters out there whose stories are about yearning for acceptance. Anyway, back to the video. Before we...
Okay, wait a minute. So, the main thing I have heard about this video that set the fandom off was that she calls, like, it was that this person calls Linnea, like, a pedophile, a predator. She never said those words. She literally never said those words. And frankly, I haven't played Linnea's story quest, but, like, I kind of agree with her that I find it weird that, like, Linnea seems to kind of not give a shit about the feelings of these, like, other, like, non-human, but, like, clearly people characters. Like, I also find that extremely weird. And, like, so it gives me a similar sense to Charlotte, actually. Charlotte, is a journalist and a news reporter. And in the Fontaine quest, she says that, like, she wants to, like, use the, she wants to write a story about the missing woman's cases because, like, it'll boost her career, basically, saying, like, oh, it'll be the greatest story of the century. Like, that rubbed me the wrong way because it's like, it's Charlotte using the tragedies of these women for her own personal gain. And I compartmentalize that as, like, that's Hoyo versus shitty writing. Like during the first Windbloom Festival, when Barbara was basically sent a threatening letter, and Venti rationalizes it and says, like, oh, they really... you, like, your fans really love you, or something like that. Like, that's just shitty writing, okay? And that's how I rationalize things in Genshin. But, like, no, Linnea's whole thing, like, the way she's, like, chasing around these characters, I don't think it's, like, sexual or icky, but it does give me, like, come on, man. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool to do to, like, autonomous people. So, but people were like, she calls Linnea a pedophile. It's like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. She literally didn't. She literally did not say those words. She says it's creepy that, like, all that, like, how the... I do disagree with, like, the Melazine being, like, child-coded. But I get where that comes from. I don't know, everything in this video has been... well, no, not everything in this video has been correct. I do, very much disagree with her takes on Columbina as she is written in the story. But, like, I don't know, she didn't... literally, what the fuck are they talking about? She did not even say anything like that. I'm so sorry, but it feels like 70% of Hoyo fans have zero reading comprehension. You can find shit creepy without calling it pedophilic. Whoa. So, I mean, I guess she did kind of imply it with saying that, like, with, like, emphasizing that, like, oh, the Melazines are, like, children and stuff. So, like, I kind of understand where people are coming with that, but for the most part, no, she didn't say anything, like, uncool there. She just spat facts. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Nothing was incorrect. She has not lied once. Oh my god.
Move on to the last part. I feel the need to debunk something I've heard both in this fandom and in other fandoms with regards to sexualized character designs.
Yeah.
She should be able to wear whatever she wants.
Oh
it's
my god.
feminist to let women express themselves how they want.
Okay.
Listen, I choose to believe that this argument isn't made in bad faith. It's more like people who say this have good intentions, but they don't understand what it is that they're actually saying.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true that women in real life should be able to choose what they wear. If they want to wear revealing clothing, that is completely their choice.
Yeah.
However, these women are not real and
Yeah.
do not have the autonomy that we do. They are purposefully manufactured to be bait for the male gaze. They are animated in revealing outfits and drawn in uncomfortable poses and
Yeah.
written into compromising situations on purpose. These developers have control over how these women are portrayed, and they choose to portray them increasingly as vessels for hypersexualization, fetishization, and fan service.
I mean,
That
yeah.
is not feminist. That's not to say that HoYoverse doesn't do this in their other games. Zenless Zone Zero comes to mind, but
I mean-
to me, at least, that game is honest about what it is, and it has been since the beginning.
Yeah.
Food physics and maid outfits and schoolgirl uniforms and all. At least over there, the fan service is a little more equally spread across the male and female characters.
Yeah.
Genshin Impact still pretends that it's this grand world of exploration it was 4 years ago, while its writing and characters suffer. Expect visual upgrades like you've never seen before, all while we refuse to visually upgrade older characters because who gives a shit about them, right? Or as we increase the shill for pay-to-win players, or for
Yeah.
Milliastra Wonderland, which no one fucking asked for and
Nobody.
no one cares about, and for hyper-specific gameplay mechanics that are incredibly team-limiting and rely on 2 or 3 limited characters to actually function, all while
Yeah.
we continually offer less and less new map areas and free wishes each patch. I could go on forever about the state of this fucking game and how HoYoverse doesn't. I think that's enough of that for now. Let's move on.
That's funny. Why do you
After all this complaining, people are probably thinking, it sounds like this game is causing you lots of undue stress. Maybe you should just quit and play something else. Look, maybe you don't get what it feels like to invest 5 years of your life into a game like this, with ever-expanding lore and new characters being introduced all the time. I guess maybe I didn't know what I was getting myself into at the time, back in 1.0 when I first started out. It sucks to invest so much of your time into a game only for it to let you down. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna pretend that Genshin was perfect back then.
Oh,
There
no.
are so many weird, cop-outs that Hoyo pulls so that they can have sensitive themes in their games but not actually have them. Like
Yeah.
Bennett saying that he has multiple dads, only for you to realize that it's because he's been raised by many older men in the Adventurers Guild, not because he has queer parents. But the problems have only gotten worse with time.
Yeah.
There are even more cop-outs, like Flynn's being a victim of suicidal ideation, but he actually just went sleepy for a really long time. Or like Nicole, who is mute in name only. She just talks in people's heads using her magic so Hoyo can pretend that they have a character with a disability. Or like Nefer, experiencing racism at the hands of the academia while having the palest skin you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
Regarding gameplay, as I said, the shill for
Yeah.
current characters has only gotten worse with time, with boss enemies made specifically to be defeated by certain limited characters.
Yeah.
Fontaine was the first region to introduce region-specific battle mechanics, Bond of Life and Pneumosia, but it wasn't so completely baked into the combat like Night Soul or Lunar Reactions
Yeah.
are. You didn't need Bond of Life or Pneumosia to be anything in the game, but the Lord of Eroded Primal Fire weekly boss requires a character who can apply Night Soul damage. The Game Before the Gate is built for quick application of the Frozen reaction, which is the
Yeah.
specialty of Skirk and Escoffier. It's unfair to people who
I
aren't looking to
struggle
pull
with that
every
boss.
single character, like me, because I only pull characters I like, or
Yeah.
free-to-play people who aren't looking to spend what could easily be hundreds of dollars on filling out their 5-star roster, also like me, because I don't have that kind of disposable income.
Yeah.
Seeing Flynn's in that Nod Cry teaser was a lifesaver for me. Holy shit, a beautiful 5-star man with a mysterious backstory who's actually part of the meta, and oh my god, Lowen too. That
Yeah.
face card is diabolical.
Lowen!
It's been so long since I've been excited about characters like this. Most of the time now, I'm just like, well, Nicole's not my favorite, but I guess I'll pull for her in the future if I have no other characters I want. Or,
cool.
well, Lauma's design is pretty terrible, but I like her personality a lot. I guess I could get her if I have enough extra Primo Gems. So yeah, that's a lot of flaws. But guess what, guys? HoYoverse fucking got me. Almost 6 years ago now, HoYoverse wormed its way into my brain
Yeah.
and put my mind in a Genshin Impact-shaped chokehold. At this point, I
Yeah.
have so many mixed emotions about this game and its fan base. I love the beautiful fan art I see every day. I love the sense of humor that so many of these fans have. I love some of these characters so much, and thinking about them is so much fun, but sometimes I feel like the only sane person in any given comment section on the internet. Like, I'm the only person who sees this game for what it has become. People just refuse to be critical of this game despite enjoying it and knowing what it could be. It's a fandom and a community that I sometimes feel like I don't belong to. Like I should have left it a long time ago, and yet I can't stop playing it. Maybe it's an addiction, or maybe it's FOMO thinking about the upcoming characters I want to get in the future. Maybe I find the gameplay engaging. But Ultimately, I think for me, it comes down to wanting to see where this story ends up, even though it continues to disappoint me the more the time goes on. I think Genshin set up a very strong emotional core with the missing sibling, and they strung us along just enough that I was invested, giving us hints of the sibling only a little at a time, all culminating in a quest called Bedtime Story a couple years ago, which is one of the only Genshin quests that's ever made me cry. I want to see the Traveler reunited with their twin at the end of this journey. I want to explore Snezhnaya and Conria. Even though Alice's design ended up being a little copy-paste, I adore her and I want to pull her and put her in a team with Klee and Durin. I want to see Dainsleif become playable and hopefully introduce a new element into the gameplay. Who knows? Maybe Genshin will continue to disappoint me. Maybe there are no good villains left to meet, and maybe a playable woman in a freezing cold climate will be wearing a bikini. I'm still gonna be pissed about that. But it's quests like Durin's story quest, a beautiful tale of the devotion of motherhood and learning.
Durin's story quest pisses me off for completely lore reasons, and I'm making a whole fucking video about it before I stop caring about Genshin.
To make your own way in life that give me very cautious optimism. I know that Hoyo is capable of amazing storytelling. That's what makes it so frustrating every time this game lets me down. But Hoyo, you've still got me for a while. Nice going, you made me addicted to your game, but the good stuff is what makes me want to stick around for a while. Even if it's only to watch my favorite little guys run around in my screen.
Series like
That's the video? Wait, that's the video people have been mad about? That's it? That was literally the most inoffensive thing I've seen. I was expecting to get mad. I was fully ready to, like, throw the fuck down. That was normal. That was normal people shit. That was completely normal. That was completely normal. What the hell? That was completely normal. That was not... Oh my god, I'm gonna give this boost... Hating on the girls but glazing the boys. Yeah, because the girls are giving shit. Oh, well, so it's not really like a see-through sash. It's more like the magical effect. Because what it is kind of like this, like, sash will, like, wrap around her and then pop. And then it like, kind of, that's just the after effect because it looks like that. Paxi the pirate, that's it meme. No, literally, I'm going to scream. Oh my god. I have to comment on here. After hearing about this video being infamously bad and finally watching it, I have to say that I am so sorry you're getting so much negative attention from this. While I have my own complaints about your reading of some characters, parentheses, mainly Columbina, as her story is not focused directly on the traveler, but is much more nuanced, in my opinion. Literally everything else you said was 100% true. People say, sorry, y'all are just watching me write a comment now. People say it's misogynistic to complain about the female characters while, quote, glazing the male ones, but that's because the female characters are disproportionately, I gotta spell check some things, gotta spell check misogynistic, gotta spell check disproportionately because I suck at spelling. Like, okay, people say it's misogynistic to complain about the female characters while, quote, glazing the male ones, but that's because the female characters are disproportionately used specifically for fan service. Specifically for fan service. Your final let's see, wait. Comment stream, yeah, it's just a stream of me watching videos and then writing out deeply thought out comments. Like, also, her complaints about Escoffier was not, oh, she thought Escoffier was gonna be creepy, but then not. She's not saying it's bad, I thought Escoffier was gonna be creepy. She's saying, I thought this character was gonna be more interesting than just a tsundere in a bad design. Like, she's glazing Lohen because Lohen's a fucking cool character. Okay, wait, oh my fucking god, because one of the things is, like, people are like, oh, she's saying Lohen has a pretty face card, but he's canonically, like, 15 or something like that, and it's like, you are holding her to, like, as if people don't go after other characters who are definitely, like, more teenage aged, you know? But, ooh, live cake letter writing. Oh my god, my mom, for my brother's wedding, had, like, everyone as a party favor got, like, this big glass mug. It's like a tankard, and I use it for water. But it feels so satisfying to, like, pick up and, like, yeah. Anyway, I'm so mad. This video was, like, normal and good. Like, I guess... Yeah, it's specifically for fan service. That is an undeniable fact. I heard that you called Linnea... how do you spell Linnea? Linnea Genshin? People want more cute anime boys because they're so much rarer than cute girls. Normal people want less cute girls and more regular girls because most girls are waifus. True! Jesus, it's so not that difficult. Linnea. I don't... Let's see, I guess I have to fucking pronounce it like PDF file, which I fucking hate, but I don't want YouTube to, like, flag my comment. But that, yeah, I heard you called Linnea a PDF file, but that literally didn't happen. You didn't say those words. Well, I do think you got stuck on the point a bit. I also find it weird how she treats non-human characters who are clearly uncomfortable with her behavior. It's kind of weird, and I think it's normal to say, hey, this character's behavior is kinda weird. Let's see. Stuck on the point a bit with the Melusines. I also find it weird how she treats non-human characters who are clearly uncomfortable with her behavior. It's kind of weird, and I think it's normal to say, hey, this character's behavior is kind of weird. And I don't like it. Your message at the end of the video really hit me hard because that is exactly how I have been feeling for a long while. Well, and so I guess, like, what people are saying is, like, because one of the comments is, like, I'm not a lore player. Yeah, we can tell. Is probably stuff about Columbina. But I feel like you can have deep lore in your game, but you should still, like, when that lore becomes relevant, you should still, like, explain it to the people who aren't lore players, you know? Your analysis, while I disagreed with some of it, was thoughtful and sincere. I'm gonna subscribe to this person. Fuck everybody else. I can't spell sincere, goddamn. No, wait, it's, okay, wait, I gotta... Sincere. Was thoughtful and sincere. I appreciate this video and wish that more people could use their brains for once instead of dog piling you for saying checks, notes, correct things, and personal opinions. Good video. Comment. God damn. That was so... I'm so mad. This video was just good. Follow up to my Genshin video. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, girl! Oh no, don't capitulate. Don't capitulate, girl. Come on, I believe in you.
Hi. So this is going to be a sort of addendum to my Genshin video. I'm going to do very minimal editing here because I want to get this out relatively quickly. It's already taken long enough.
I'm writing her
name. The thing I got the
name.
most backlash for by far was my thoughts on Linnea. I definitely want to apologize for the harsh tone I took when talking about her. I wrote that section in an angry state of mind and I should have edited it to be a bit more objective. I understand that a lot of people think I'm ableist now because of the way that I spoke about a character that people feel is autism coded. Yes, I know that people on the autism spectrum may have a difficult time picking up on social cues or personal space, and that Linnea struggles with both of these.
Yeah,
yes,
but it's still fucking weird.
Interests, and that Linnea's has to do with wildlife. I never meant to diminish people with autism, and if I hurt you with my words, I'm so sorry for that.
It didn't come off as that at all. Holy shit, it did not come off as that at all. I'm glad I never bothered to buy a PC after the game got too big for my phone. Used to love playing Genshin. Yeah, oh my god. I haven't played Linnea's Story Quest because I don't care, man. But, like, I don't know. I feel like there's a difference between, like, oh, autistic special interest, she likes wildlife, and actively, like, kind of ignoring other people's autonomy, which it seems Linnea does.
I just want to put my thoughts into a little bit more context. First off, I went to school to become a teacher. I have a bachelor's degree in early
Oh,
childhood
girl,
education.
no, you don't
so
need
I'm
to
familiar with
justify
different
yourself.
disabilities and what those look like for
No,
students.
you don't have to
I knew all of
justify
this when I wrote the
yourself.
video. Though I'm not currently a teacher, I work with students at different ability levels
No.
regularly at my job. Linnea frustrates me as a representation of the autism spectrum because her portrayal aligns a lot with portrayals of creep or pervert characters in anime. The thing that bothers me especially is the grabby hands that she does in the trailer.
That is
which
true.
is why I put her on screen with this character from Ace Attorney, who is
Yeah.
explicitly supposed to be creepy. That's
Yeah.
something specifically I would want to see changed, because to me it felt ableist to portray her with these predatory mannerisms when they could have just had her be fascinated with the Melusines without doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
This comes down to agency, like I said in the video. Linnea has no control over how she's represented because she's not real.
Yeah.
I've literally had college professors hammer into my head that characters are products and reflections of their authors, and that they are not autonomous and should not be discussed as such.
Yeah.
It's instead a reflection on Hoyo that they decided to portray her that way. Everything else about her, I guess I could take or leave. So that is what I should have said about Linnea.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry if my comments about her hurt anyone. I should have spoken with more tact and not used the harsh words that I did.
Girl,
Similarly,
no.
I have gotten lots of accusations of racism because of what I said about Natlan, specifically about thinking a gladiator plotline would have worked better than the canon plot. I think ultimately for me this comes down to war not working as a divine ideal in concept, which is something I also said in the video, because gladiators was the first thing that came to mind as a way that an Archon could uphold war, just as the other Archons uphold their ideals.
I don't think
this
that's
idea had nothing to do with the
particularly
race or culture of the characters
racist.
from Natlan,
I think
but
it's
I
just
can
kind
see
of
how it might have come off that way. And again, I'm sorry for that. A lot of the Natlan stuff, and also the stuff I said about Nefer, must be viewed in a historical context. Like at the end of the last video, I made kind of an offhand comment about how Nefer's plot about receiving discriminatory treatment by the academia kind of falls flat for me, and I realized after seeing a bunch of comments about that too that I should have explained myself more. I wasn't intending to imply that people with pale skin don't experience racism. That's of course something that happens a lot, but Nefer comes from an area in the game where mostly people with tanner skin live.
Yeah.
And I know that it's implied that she's not actually from there, but I think the point
It's
still
implied
stands.
she's
And
not from there? Well, you could have fucking fooled me, because the game doesn't tell you that. Unless, I guess unless you have her and is reading her character stories. I don't know.
First story, she gets a chance to study at the academia, but she quickly notices that the assignments that she's been given are easier than her peers. It's obvious from the context clues here that the school sees her as less intelligent because of where she's from.
Yeah.
This is based in real life, of course. People of minoritized races, especially black and brown people, have been historically perceived as less intelligent than fair-skinned people.
Yeah.
There are countless examples of these groups having their intelligence and humanity undermined through incredibly racist propaganda.
Yeah.
It's the fact that they chose Nefer as the character to experience this story out of all the people who live in the desert who have darker skin is what makes it fall flat for me.
Yeah.
I don't want the characters I like to experience racism in the game, but if Hoyo is going to try and tackle these themes, I want it to be respectful to the painful history that those themes are inspired by.
Yeah.
Even though I'm explaining myself a little more clearly, maybe I'm still wrong. I just wanted
You're
to touch
not.
on that to make my thoughts more obvious,
Girl!
which I should have done in the original video.
You're so
I also
not
want
wrong.
to address my discussion of the fan service in the game. No, I do not hate revealing designs in principle.
No,
and it has
you're
nothing
not.
to do with the fact that I'm not attracted to women. There are plenty of revealing designs that I think are really beautiful and
okay,
well done.
okay. I'll argue about Mona. I dislike
To
Mona's
women.
design
There are
so
plenty
much.
of revealing designs that I think are really beautiful and well done. And I myself enjoy dressing in cute little outfits, as you can see by the Sona design that I made that everyone hated. Again, it's partly
Everyone
about
hated
agency.
it? Oh my god, that's stupid!
Like I said,
I need to become her friend. She's so cool and so chill and normal and like...
earlier, I can choose to represent myself how I want.
Yeah.
And this design is actually pretty close to how I dress in real life. But I have also had people coming after me for not taking fan service into account when it comes to the male characters because I didn't mention
Like,
Rowan. First off,
how?
I wrote that video before all of that content came out. I basically only knew what he looked like, and I met him in Varka's quest when I wrote the script. And he had like 3 lines in that quest.
Yeah.
The video took a long time to edit, so I couldn't keep up with all of the current content. But I also think it's important to give some more attention to the fan servicey elements of the male characters. Lowen enjoys combat and makes these crazy facial expressions when he fights. A lot of Flynn's dialogue could be interpreted as flirtatious, and even if it's not, his gentlemanly personality is fan servicey too. Linny wears garters and tights and stuff, and he also gives the Traveler a rainbow rose. Goro is a dog boy with a crop top. You can see how it's usually something different with each character, but with the women I feel like
Yeah,
it's
it's
always
all
the
the
same,
same-
and very
yeah!
surface level. She has bare legs, therefore she's fan service. She's a tsundere, therefore she's fan service. I don't mind if a character is fan servicey and sensible.
not
I
wrong!
actually said in the video that I wished Escoffier was more like Lowen in terms of presentation because I thought that would have been more interesting. But it gets boring to see it happen to every
Yeah!
new character that they release. It seems like they're more concerned lately with finding not so subtle ways to show more and more skin rather than what would look most interesting or best communicate who the character is. Or instead, they do what they did to Seat Lally recently and just reduce her to a childish simp who gets jealous when the Traveler hangs out with other people. If that's your thing, that's completely fine. We don't have to agree on this. I just find it frustrating knowing that Hoyo can write very interesting characters but decides that writing stuff like this is more important. I didn't think it was misogynistic to point out that the women in the game are treated differently than the men. Quite the
Yeah!
opposite, actually.
Uh-huh,
But again,
yeah!
maybe I'm the one who's in the wrong.
You're
But
not!
no, just because I think a villain is interesting does not mean I defend or condone their actions. Dottore is an interesting villain with interesting motives, but I obviously do not think that anything he did was right. Dottore isn't even one of my favorite characters or anything. There's actually quite a bit I don't like about the way he's written, but people have always liked villains in other media, so I'm a little confused about where that particular criticism is coming from. But I think that's everything I wanted to say regarding the previous video. I also have not been deleting comments as I've been accused by several people. I know you kind of just have to take my word for it, but there are over 7,000 comments on that video now,
Jesus,
and a very
girl.
large amount of them are negative. And that's aside from all the Twitter hate that I'm not looking at because I haven't been on Twitter in years.
Good.
And just a side note, it's been brought to my attention that someone on Twitter is pretending to be me.
Oh my
I genuinely
god!
cannot believe it's that serious. So if you see anybody called Candybug on Twitter or TikTok or anywhere else except for Instagram or YouTube, that is not me. I haven't even really been reading comments recently because it's so overwhelming. I
Yeah.
promise you, I do not have time to go deleting comments that disagree with me.
Oh my
If your comment
god.
disappeared, it could be for one of the reasons that I'm going to put on screen now. So thank you in advance for giving me grace with this video. I have other ideas for more lighthearted, non-Genshin videos as I will probably take a break from the game.
Yeah.
After all that's happened, I honestly feel like I can't even look at this game the same way
Oh
anymore.
my god,
This
girl.
fandom is so incredibly toxic, and I guess I was stupid to think that they wouldn't jump down my throat at every turn. I'm also confused because some of you seem to think this is like a psyop, like I'm putting this video out for a reason or getting paid to do it.
What?
Instead of it being a video that's not very good because it's my first one where I wanted to talk about my feelings about a game I liked, or that I wanted to get it out before Snezhnaya so that my
Occam's
points
razor.
wouldn't lose relevance.
Oh my
and because
god.
this game comes out with updates faster than I can keep up with, or
this
because
person
I
is
made it
so
about a popular topic
cool.
so people get recommended it easier. Not everything is some kind of conspiracy. You can feel free to say how much you think I'm a waste of space or whatever. I'm probably not going to read it, to be honest. I've gotten enough DMs already threatening me with violence or doxing or telling me to kill myself. Hence why if you have tried to message me in the last few days, you haven't been able to. I just wanted to take a moment to clarify some of the
Oh
stuff in
my
the video that drew me
God.
negative attention and that I wish I did better on looking back. That video was rushed because, like I said, I wanted to get it out before Snezhnaya, but it took me so long to write and edit it that it probably wasn't even worth it in the end. But either way, I shouldn't have rushed through it, so I'm sorry for that again. I don't know if it will help to make this, but I guess the least I can do is try and amend some things. Thank you again if you've said anything nice or if you've been constructive with your criticism, and I'm sorry my first ever video had to go this way. I'm sorry if your nice comment got buried by all of the negativity. Maybe I'll see you soon for a different topic, but I'm honestly not sure after the way this went. Bye.
Oh my god, that's so not fair! She did nothing wrong! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, I'm gonna scream! She's literally just a cool guy! Oh my god! I'm messaging her on Instagram right now. Hi, your Genshin vid is literally so correct and good. I have my minor disagreements, but as a fellow small video creator woman, I have my minor disagreements, but as a fellow small video creator woman who thought your video was deeply compelling and well thought out. I am so sorry for all you've had to deal with. I really love your art and your commentary and would love to speak to you sometime. And even if not, I look forward to your future projects. Please don't. No! No! This account can't receive your message because they don't allow new message requests from everyone. No! No! She's literally so cool! No! I mean, I don't blame her. Oh. Oh my god. I'm sorry, but here's my degrees. Fuck you. Oh my god. No! Everyone go follow her right the fuck now. Candy Bug on YouTube. She's literally cool and she did nothing wrong. I'm gonna stand by that. Crucify me if you will, but like, girl, just... Oh my god! Subscribe to hear me talk. You've got my subscription. Oh my god. Oh my god. Like, this person is cool and I like her. Oh god, part of me wants to like... I want to reach out so badly! I want to like share her video, but I don't want to like send, like cause another wave of hate. But she's correct! Everyone else is wrong about her. Everyone's been dumb and stupid and she's correct. What the fuck? Telling my friend, hey, she's like dead ass kiss me for real. I almost got this treatment from my vid. Like, girl, you wanted to state your opinion, God forbid. This vid is actually really good. Sends this to my friend because I want to share it with people, and I want I want her to know that I'm with her. Candy Bug, I'm with you. I'm with you. I like her. She seems really cool and chill and like a cool person with cool art. Yeah, went and liked the video. She's big time Rush. She can literally do no wrong. Fuck yeah. No, that's so true. Everyone, okay, everyone in chat. I know right now there's like 10 of you, whatever. Please go to Candy Bug's video and subscribe and like, because she is like cool and her video is inoffensive and cool and correct, and I don't know, like, again, I voiced my complaints throughout, but like it's literally not that bad that everyone else was saying, like, oh, it's so bad. It's like, it's really not. How long have I been streaming? 2 hours. I'm gonna comment on her Sona. Your Sona is literally so cute. I don't understand how people are complaining about it. I can't wait to see more from you. People are even roasting. Yeah, I know. Everyone's being mean. Like, what the fuck? I don't understand. God forbid a woman say anything. Fuck off. You had complaints, but none of them were as egregious. It was very much, from my perspective, just a different matter of interpretation. Yeah. Like, I had complaints, but nothing that's like, I'm gonna make a billion YouTube shorts milking the controversy. It's like... That was so normal. That was so normal and not bad at all. Holy shit. Oh my god. I want to be your friend. Where's more? Like, look at my art. Tumblr! Yeah! She's on Tumblr! Come on. No! She's gone! No, they fucking took her out, dude! No! The rest of the stream is just me trying to find a way to contact her so I can say, hey man, good video. I'm so mad. Like, yeah, okay, I look up Candybug on Tumblr, and most people are like, yeah, she's correct, actually. Or, no, some of them are bad. But, like, most people are like... Oh my god, this also reeks a little bit of bootlicking the $1 million company. No, you're so right. I like her. I like Candybug. I don't know. I guess I want her to have a good life, okay? I want to see more of her thoughts on things. It's so frustrating how she has been dogpiled. And I understand, I understand. I kind of understand what it's like. My magical girl video, was dunked on. But, like, I understand it. And I hate that it seems like he's taking the quote-unquote criticism to heart. That's the thing that gets me. Because he literally, like, I don't know, I had criticisms, but he wasn't incorrect about any of it. Like, of the major points, the things that people were saying of her, like, she wasn't incorrect about it. And it's... I'm angry. Like... Candybug, you will always be famous. If Genshin is marketing to weirdo goons, it's probably most of the fandom right now. Yeah. I don't know. I just... That shit was insane. Yeah, let's remember my, like, Twitter thread of kindly shut the fuck up and just follow up. What's this? Is this me? Is this about me? Oh, wait, what? Okay, no, it's something different. It's I don't know, but, like, fuck. God damn, for real, after a while, I just kind of muted the notifications of my video. It got tiring. Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm so mad. I'm mad for her. Girl, you did not need to make, like, an apology video. Like, you did not need to further justify yourself. You were 100% correct. Like, I don't understand how anyone could think otherwise. It's just... Oh, wow. I'm so sorry, girl. Everyone else, many of the, yeah, they're just a cult swarm to attack. Oh. It's... Oh. This shit is so bad, dude. This is so, this shit's so bad. Candy Bug deserves better. Candy Bug, if you have 1,000 fans, I am one of them. If you have one fan, I am one of them. Like, you're so valid and cool. I want to be your friend. Oh, shit! Oh, I accidentally closed Clip Studio Paint. That's why it went down. Anyway, I personally would have significantly less of a problem if people actually just talked about what she said and criticizing it instead of just straight up putting words in her mouth. Yeah, and also attacking her. So, I mean, I'm probably gonna end the stream there. I don't really feel like going over the Madoka video. I'll get to that another time. But, like, damn. She was just correct. And the internet hated her for speaking the truth. Insane behavior.